Did the Jazz just get completely robbed on that final play tonight? A furious rally falls short by 2, and the officials are gagging. They need the Heimlich because they swallowed a whistle they should have blown. It's next on POSTCAST. David Locke along with Ron Boone tonight on POSTCAST. And Ron, we've watched the replay. You got to blow that whistle.
Yeah, you got to blow that whistle. I mean, it's no way that he tripped himself and ends up on the floor. And as you mentioned, he had his arm wrapped around it. It was too much contact.
For those who didn't see it, Jazz inbounding. They've made a furious rally on an 18-2 run or so. They're down 108-106. They're inbounding on the far side. Mihailuk's looking to inbound, and Keyonte comes off a pick from Nurkic and goes to the ground. Marcus Smart had his arm hooked inside of Keyonte George as Keyonte started his route. The official on the baseline may not have been able to see it because Keontae's back was to the official, so Marcus Smart hooked him on the front side. Then Keyonte goes down, and they can't get the ball inbounds to Key, so they go to Nurkic. Key comes back to credit Key. He did not quit on the play, and he ends up missing a fadeaway 3 on the side. That's the final play of the game. There's a lot more to it, the final play, but the final play is going to take our attention for a second because that is a foul.
And it's a crucial time of the ball game. Again, he gets to the free throw line, right, for one free throw, and they still get the basketball out of bounds for a chance to either tie or win it. The other way was only, to tie. So,
and let me address one of my all-time bigger issues that I hear people talk. Well, you don't want officials deciding a game late. When you swallow a whistle, the official decides the game just as much as if he blows the whistle.
Yeah, exactly.
So that is an official deciding the game right there or having an impact. The Jazz would not have necessarily won. It would have been a one if they make the free throw. It would have been a 1-point game, but it does widen your array of play calls. It's the Jazz. It looks to me that play may have been going to Nurkic anyway and Key coming back for the ball. I actually think that very well may have been the play call. I'm guessing it was going to Nurkic, Mihailuk, and Key interchange as Mihailuk is the inbounder to create confusion, and Key comes back to get the ball, and it looks like the Jazz may have very well been going for the win anyway, or Key turns the corner on that. So I don't know how it was supposed to play out, but it certainly wasn't that, and that's a disappointing end to this one. But there's no question the Jazz get a bit robbed on that. All right, let's go to the basketball game as a whole. This was much better performance. There were a bunch of times in the night. The biggest thing to me was a bunch of times in the night where the Lakers surged, and this is where the Jazz had fallen apart in Minnesota, fell apart in L.A., fell apart against Oklahoma City, and they didn't fall apart tonight. In those
didn't fall apart, and other guys stepped up and got the job done. It was late in the ball game. It was Markkanen who ended up making some big buckets, but it was without Markkanen for the most part. He had 19 shots tonight, and he's been averaging about 21 shots a ball game. It wasn't his night as far as shooting the basketball, but other guys stepped up. Bailey and Keyonte just continues to roll here all season long.
Lauri has 2 threes in this game. They both happened very late. One of them off the bounce late in the ballgame on an ISO, and one of them late in transition to bring the game within 1 before Luka hit 1 of 2 free throws. They both, I think, were in the final minute or 2 of the game. So Lauri went the first 46 minutes without a field goal in this one. Let's go to Key for a second, because that is the biggest story. Is just every night he's producing right now, and he is fighting through games and understanding. And I do not know when he sat down tonight. I don't know how many minutes he played, but it felt like he only played 39. Boy, I cannot remember the 9 minutes he was off the floor.
Yeah, and amazing the way he's playing, David, with or without the basketball. That's what I've been impressed with. And obviously he's getting the assist, but he's playing with the basketball, using his screens. And he's just having a good year. Shooting the basketball, I think, is what's well, I take that back. The way he's distributing the basketball is very impressive, but the way he's shooting the basketball now with so much confidence.
Well, he's 4 of 10 tonight from 3, and he's beginning to warm up. In his last 5 games coming in, he was at 33%. He's working that back up. He was in the 20s, so he's getting that number back to where it should be. He's hit a few off the bounce threes, which he hasn't been doing. So those are nice to see. His drives to the basket, his mid-range game. I mean, J.J. Redick said at pregame tonight he believes that Keyonte will become a 3-level scorer in this league.
Interesting. And we hope so. Again, he's having a great year. 3-level scorer. That means he's putting the points up. He's knocking down threes, getting to the free throw line, all that kind of stuff. But I like his optimism, and I hope it happens.
One of the things the Jazz were really focused on tonight was getting the ball into the paint. We saw it early. I'm going to do this off the top of my head. Hunter Hawkins, our statistician, charted this tonight. 15 paint touches first quarter. I think it was 16 paint touches second quarter. I think it was 18 paint touches third quarter. And they averaged about 59, so they were well ahead of pace. They fell short on that, actually, in the third quarter. They had 19 paint touches in the third quarter. In the fourth quarter, they were down at 6, right, when they made their rally. So as the game fell apart, it was that they weren't able to get in the paint, but they really had done a much better job most of the night of getting into the paint.
Yeah, that's going to be something big for the Jazz, I think, because what that does is open up some perimeter shooting, especially if the game plan was to get the defense scrambling tonight. So if they're getting the paint touches, maybe the defense is scrambling and get a chance to knock down some shots. But I thought one of the biggest problems the Jazz had, and especially I think it was in that third quarter when they were pushing the ball ahead, the Lakers pushing the ball ahead of the defense, they ended up with 26 fast break points.
It's not a good offensive night for either team. The offensive rating on both teams right now, I think, was right at 100 for the night. I'll have to check it, but my thought is it's right at 100. The league average is like 114, 115. I mean, this interestingly enough, by the end of the night, both teams didn't shoot the three well. Lakers shot 26%, Jazz shot 33%. Both teams shot in the 40s. Jazz did a moderately good job of keeping the Lakers off the glass, or off the free throw line. They only shot 3 in the first quarter half. They shot 24 free throws in the second half, which is not great. But this was a good defensive outing. Like both teams, like this is probably the Jazz best defensive outing of the season, particularly against a half decent offensive team.
Well, you look at the score in the first half, 62 points. You think, okay, that's 120 points and it didn't end up that way. 108, 106.
And that was with a flurry late.
Right. Things slowed down in the second half.
What does the flurry late show you on how the Jazz, in the fact that they were down? It felt pretty helpless. They were down 10 or 11, and they fought back there.
Well, Keyonte and then Lauri makes a few buckets. I mean, if you get him in spots where he can shoot over the top of a defender, he had a 3, and then he ended up knocking a mid-range jumper down there as well. That, to me, if you're getting the basketball in spots like that, I mean, that really helps him. Not only that, it helps the team there as well. But down the stretch, that's exactly what happened. The Jazz were able to, get a little run going and gave themselves a chance to win.
Thought it was an interesting night to watch what the Lakers did against the Jazz, since they were playing back-to-back games against the Jazz. They didn't play in between. The fact that Lauri really couldn't get going tonight at all, as great as Lauri's been all year, and Will Hardy's done a masterful job. What has been an interesting and fun stat about Lauri, how few times he dribbles, how much of his stuff is assisted. This does also reveal the other weakness, that if the offense is not getting him things, if the defense can blow up the offense so that they're not getting him things, he is not really capable of getting himself looks.
Yeah, you can't isolate him, especially out on the wing. So what they've been trying to do is isolate him off of a mismatch on the low block. Sometimes it works, and to the point where, and then they're double teaming there as well. So Jazz are working very, very hard at trying to put him in a position where he has an advantage to score. We saw Vincent. Vincent is what?
6'3"?
6'3". You see how physical he was trying to be with Lauri and really fighting him on the low block and everything. This is going forward for the rest of the year. You're probably going to see that.
Here's what that really is. The Lakers, who do not switch 1 through 5, switched 1 through 5 tonight because of Lauri and did not care who guarded Lauri.
Yeah.
They believed that any of their guys could guard Lauri if he didn't catch the ball in the sequence of the offense.
Makes
and
sense.
that's what that message is. That's the takeaway. Now the Jazz have to figure that out. Well, Ace Bailey had a few passes. One of them got negated because Bryce was out of bounds, but passes off the bounce. We're just seeing flashes from him. He had an incredible dunk tonight. He hit some shots, but those passes are just so contrary to everything we were told about him before he got here. They really were pretty amazing.
Yeah. 5 assists, and again, passing off the dribble. And that means he's dribbling with his head up. He knows where the help is coming from and getting the basketball to the right people. That's special. I mean, he's 19 years old.
You're seeing flashes that make you believe. Like they ran a soundbite from Will Hardy tonight when I interviewed with Holly Rowe on this Jumbotron pregame, where he said he called him a freak. Like, are you seeing things that are just very, very elite, high level every night?
He's gotten better and better the more minutes he gets out there on the floor, and you can just tell that he's learning, and you can tell that he's listening.
She deserves a Jazz note, by the way.
Got,
this woman right here. Come here for a second.
Got another.
Come here. We're giving a Jazz note to this woman right here who just somehow got through the game, and with this guy. Come here. Can I lift you up and show you on television? You're gonna make you famous. No, you don't want to be famous. All right. I scared the kid.
They got another one down here. Wow.
Whoa. Do you know what to do about this? Okay. So she gets a Jazz note tonight. What's your thoughts on Luka and LeBron and the Lakers and what we're watching as that team?
That guard line with LeBron, they're going to be just fine. You can tell that LeBron did not try to take over the ball game. He's playing within the flow or in the system without being the vocal point. And you can just see that tonight. Now, obviously, he got tired and took himself out. And then all of a sudden, I want to go back in the ball game. So he puts himself back in, that kind of thing. But you can just see that Luka, this is definitely Luka's team.
And he's worthy of having the team. I mean,
absolutely.
33, 11, and 9 tonight, I think.
No question. Luka ended up with 33, 11, and 8.
And 8.
Yes, yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, he's pretty great. All right, we got a plane to catch. We got Steph Curry tomorrow. What a life. We got LeBron one night, Luka one night, and Steph Curry the next. This is so fun. I love this job. Been doing it for a long time, and it's still awesome. Who are your Jazz notes tonight, Ron?
I'm good. The entitled starting 5 for the Jazz was, except for Keyonte, who had a wonderful basketball game, was -4. But in the starting 5,
I think Keyonte plays without Lauri on the bench unit.
Right, and played 39 minutes. So definitely the starting 5 of the Jazz tonight. All 5.
All 5. And all no 5. Bench players really tonight.
Nope.
All right, that wrapped us. Jazz lose to the Lakers 108-106. Get kind of robbed. You kind of should be bitter.
Got robbed.
He should be bitter.
He was fouled.
He was fouled. Yeah. Should have had a free throw. I don't know that we win the game because you're still inbounding and have to score, which is a low percentage chance, but it would have changed the ballpark of what you could have run.
Made it interesting. Isn't it?
So, all right, that is it. We'll talk to you from San Francisco tomorrow. This has been POSTCAST.